right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, more smash and grabs in Soulard. Bar owners fed up.
It's annoying. It's really annoying.
And they want the city to step up.
Water woes, when these bands of showers let up and move away, and why there won't be much time to dry out.
When it rains, it pours in one Metro East neighborhood.
My fear is that it will come in my home.
Tonight, frustrated homeowners demanding a flooding fix. Night showers and downpours continue to cause problems across the bi-state. Water is ponding on the ground and the roads, causing issues on both sides of the river. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Some areas have seen upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain in just the last 24 hours. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking a break from those showers in the Weather First forecast.
Yeah, we get a break, but it's not going to last that long, and it's not here just yet. In fact, what an interesting afternoon it was in St. Louis as we actually saw some sunshine. This is looking over Forest Park, and then later this evening, that faded. Bands of showers rolled in from the northeast and some thunder too. And with them, downpours, upwards of another ½ an inch to an inch or more in some cases falling. And so far in the past 24 hours, more than 2 inches across much of the metro area. 2.5 out in Valley Park, 2.2 in U City, as well as in downtown St. Louis. And then you look across the rest of the area, pockets with that heavier rainfall continuing. Right now, you still have some bands of showers and rumbles of thunder. There's a few out towards Wildwood, heading down Highway 100 and Highway 94 towards Gray Summit. You have a few more in the Metro East, but we're trending towards seeing this wind down this evening. And in the next 2 or 3 hours, most of these showers will be gone. Little, if any, clearing though overnight, and it's dry for a day, Wednesday, and then that's it. More in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. All that water has to go somewhere, but in this Kirkwood neighborhood, it had nowhere to go. Viewer Chris Dowling sent us this video showing Hawbrook Lane turned into a raging river. This is near Wood Lane and Adams. Flash flooding is nothing new in one East St. Louis neighborhood.
Homeowners say they're sick of their high water headaches. New tonight, they shared their flooding frustrations with our Robert Townsend.
It was right there. My backyard was filled within 20 minutes.
It was a torrential Tuesday in East St. Louis that almost brought a weary Terry Barnes to tears.
It was really, really bad. It was raining real hard.
Barnes says a heavy rainstorm blew through her neighborhood at 53rd and Belmont. From the air, you can see flash flooding buried her backyard, covered the playground equipment at her home daycare, ruined her patio furniture, and turned streets into lakes.
This time it came from the back. It's a pump back there, like a sewer pump back there in the alley, so it came so quick from there.
Down the street, her neighbor, Stephen Moore,
It's bad. It's not
is battling high water in his backyard and basement.
I'm tired of going through it. I probably got to miss work tomorrow to pump water.
Just minutes after we got here to Barnes' flooded neighborhood, a Public Works city official with East St. Louis also showed up to talk to her. East St. Louis City Manager Robert Betts then pulled up.
Some of our infrastructure is failing.
To see the backed up sewers, standing water, and flooded mess, there are 2 pumps at the nearby 47th Street station.
These are very specialized pumps. Some of them even have to be sent out of the country to Sweden to be repaired.
He says one pump is currently only working at half capacity.
We're doing everything we can do. We're cleaning our sewers. We're bypassing water. We're pumping water.
Meantime, more rain is expected on Thursday.
My prayer is that God hold back the rain.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
City officials say the other pump at the 47th Street station is working properly and can handle major flooding in that area.
Tonight, homicide detectives are investigating after a man was found dead inside a downtown apartment building. Police were called to the Mark Twain Hotel around 5:30 tonight. That is located at the corner of 9th and Pine. Investigators have not released details on how the man died. And St. Louis police are also investigating after a man was found dead outside a North City home. Police say they found the body around 7:30 this morning near Cass and Hogan Streets. The man was found shot in the back and chest. His name has not been released.
Tonight, charges have been filed against an alleged home intruder who was shot by a homeowner in North St. Louis County. This happened early this morning on Empress Drive near the Castle Point neighborhood. Investigators say Andre Farrar III ran from the home, was later found a half-mile away. He was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. He's now charged with first-degree burglary and resisting arrest. Just hours ago, Mayor Tishaura Jones sold St. Louis as a city undergoing a renaissance in her State of the City address.
Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, was there and has more on the mayor's speech and what it means for her re-election campaign.
Kelly and Mike, Mayor Tishaura Jones struck a noticeably different tone this year than in her last State of the City address. Last year, she spent a lot of time preaching patience, telling voters change will come if you just wait for it. This year, she acknowledged the impatience of voters who want to see change now.
Yes, crime rates are down in our city, but they're not where we want them to be.
Mayor Tishaura Jones repeated concerns she's heard from city voters worried about violent crime.
They told us that although they heard that crime was down in St. Louis, they couldn't see it in their daily lives.
And while she didn't specifically mention the city's dwindling population,
we want you to stay here.
She told people who may consider joining that exodus that help is on the way.
The question I'm always asked is, what are you doing with that ARPA money, and why haven't I seen any of it? Yeah, I understand. It's your right to know.
A November report from the mayor's office revealed the city has only spent 17% of federal pandemic funds so far. What are they doing with it?
We're tearing down 1,000 abandoned houses that have been eyesores for years.
She also unveiled a new software system to speed up city hiring and a potential thaw on that hiring freeze.
So if Jefferson City doesn't pass any laws decreasing our earnings tax by the time session ends this Friday, I'm happy to say that we will lift the hiring freeze on Monday, May 20th.
Jones promoted a wave of new recruits at emergency dispatch centers.
There's nothing more frustrating than calling 911 and not seeing a response for minutes or even hours.
And continued making her case to divide those calls up between cops and clinicians.
Police are not the answer to every call.
In her last major address before launching a bid for a second term, Jones nudged the audience to reclaim a negative narrative from the naysayers.
The next time you hear someone talking trash about St. Louis, you straighten your spine, look them in the eye and tell them, you don't know what you're talking about. St. Louis is my city, and she is in the middle of a renaissance.
She's appealing to that pride as she starts to build her re-election campaign, but voters don't yet know the alternative. Mayor Jones does have her fair share of critics, including from many of her former supporters. But one longtime city insider told me tonight, with each passing day that goes by without a challenger jumping into the race to oppose her, the firmer her incumbent grip grows on the office.
And while the mayor and police statistics say crime is down, Soulard businesses are seeing a different story. They're fed up with break-ins, fixing windows that get smashed in over and over again. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski is live in Soulard at the Cat's Meow Bar, the latest to get hit.
Well, Kelly, unfortunately, fixing this window is going to cost a lot more than all of the things the thieves took. And these business owners are just tired of it. They want the city to do more about it.
It's a shame because all of us work really hard to survive.
Not long after the Cat's Meow closed up early Sunday morning, these 4 people went through a lot of trouble to break into the Soulard bar.
I actually still have the stone that they threw up against the glass, and it bounced off twice before they started kicking the bottom of it before they could ever get it open. We've got safety glass in it.
The thieves only got away with some change, a carton of cigarettes, lighters, a bottle of Tylenol, and 2 open bottles of liquor. Luckily, they were able to welcome customers back in the same day.
As soon as we cleaned it up enough, I mean, we were open the whole time that my son and I were boarding it up.
Before the thieves hit the Cat's Meow, they tried to break into Big Daddy's around the corner, but weren't successful this time. But they did make it inside about a month ago.
It's really annoying having to worry about securing your building, which it's already secure, but I mean, it's just the fact that most of these people, all they do is cause more damage than what they take.
Both business owners say they've done everything they can do, putting in more security cameras, alarms, extra lighting, safety glass, and keeping a watchful eye. Now they need the city to do more.
All the cops come around here, I love them. They're always proactive and they're very helpful. It just seems to be we need more of them.
The chairman of the Soulard Special Business District and owner of Molly's says the neighborhood is part of a special taxing district that funds safety initiatives.
Most of the funding goes directly towards additional patrols through a secondary security company.
He says a lot of the crime in their area is committed by juveniles or very young adults.
I think we need more police, but I think we need more, more youth programs and more, things of that nature. It's not just a punitive system. It's got to be something to try to fix it before it happens.
All three business owners tell me they don't want people to think the area is unsafe because all of this is just more costly and annoying than anything, and it's truly not the norm. Reporting live in Soulard, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Another late night at the Missouri State Capitol in Jefferson City. Senate Democrats have been filibustering for more than 30 hours now in hopes of reining in a Republican proposal to make it harder to amend the state constitution. The nonstop debate began yesterday afternoon over what Democrats are calling misleading ballot candy, like a ban against non-citizens voting, which is already outlawed. Other legislation could be impacted if the filibuster continues through the end of the legislative session on Friday. This includes child care tax credits, which has bipartisan support and the support of the governor.
An end of an era for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis. After serving as president for nearly 30 years, Dr. Flint Fowler announced today he will retire at the end of the year. Since taking the job in 1996, the organization has grown from one location in North City to 11 clubs across the bi-state. The club now serves nearly 14,000 children through after-school, teen, sports, and summer programs. Another local nonprofit has a million reasons to be happy tonight. Stray Rescue received an unprecedented $1 million donation. Philanthropist Carol Epstein donated the $1 million gift to help at the shelter's new main campus currently under construction in the Dutchtown neighborhood. The campus will span 4 acres with a humane education center for children, low-cost veterinary care, and expanded adoption services. Epstein advocates for animals and says educating our younger generation in animal welfare is important.
He witnessed another teen's death. Weeks later, he was reported missing.
He said he was there, that it was not a suicide, it was a murder.
Tonight, an arrest is providing some answers in this mystery as loved ones still ask, where's John Paul? It's a book battle some claim is over good versus evil. Tonight, the library fight in Superman's hometown.
Soggy at times today from Metropolis, Illinois to Maplewood, Missouri. A brief break from the wet weather is on the way, but we're already tracking another round of unsettled weather to end the week. See you in 7 minutes.
New developments tonight in a small town Missouri mystery the I-Team has been following. 3 years after vanishing, authorities believe a 19-year-old man from Jefferson County was murdered. John Paul Parton disappeared just weeks after witnessing another 19-year-old, Durante Martin, die at a house party in Fredericktown.
Now there's an arrest in Parton's death. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is here now with the looming questions in the case. Brent?
Mike, police arrested a 21-year-old named Thomas Cheeto Gamble. He lived in Potosi but now lives in Louisiana. New court documents accuse Gamble of shooting someone and disposing of a body that's never been found.
We just want to know. And one day it'll all come out.
That's our 2023 interview with the parents of 19-year-old John Paul Parton, who's been missing since 2021. This month, authorities say they believe a man he knew, 21-year-old Thomas Cheeto Gamble, shot and killed him as he sat in the front seat of a car back in May of 2021 in St. Francis County. A witness told police the shooting happened with a gun they purchased after stealing money and drugs during a burglary the day before. The mother of the suspect's then-girlfriend told police she saw blood in the car and helped clean it with bleach and water. She also told police she saw Gamble travel back and forth on a four-wheeler to burn something in the woods. She says he had a shovel and rake with him. These developments follow last week's news of the FBI finding 19-year-old Durante Martin died from a self-inflicted gunshot. He was at the same party Paul was at weeks before he disappeared. This is the 911 call from the night of Martin's death.
Madison County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Apparently a guy just shot himself.
Though police aren't sure of a connection between the two instances, they do believe they've now solved Parton's case.
I miss him with all my heart.
Gamble is charged with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, tampering with physical evidence, and abandonment of a corpse. He's awaiting extradition back to Missouri.
Tonight, a battle is being waged between a church and a library in the Illinois city they call the hometown of Superman. It all started after the library director in Metropolis refused to stop praying with children in the public library. She also reportedly removed thousands of books she deemed inappropriate. The library board terminated her. Then a conservative councilman and pastor claimed the library was harboring Satan. The mayor agreed and called for the removal of the library board members, a step the Illinois Secretary of State called unacceptable.
Do you think that prayer is appropriate in the public library?
Well, now, it depends. Yeah, I'm going to say that if you're asking me, do I think it's all right? If it was approved by everybody involved, then I don't see what's the problem.
The mayor paused his plans for removal of the board and now has until next month to make a decision. Another delay tonight for the maiden voyage of Boeing Starliner spacecraft. Friday's launch has been pushed back until next Tuesday because of a helium leak discovered in the service module. NASA scrubbed last week's second attempt at the last minute due to a valve issue. Boeing is competing with SpaceX to provide missions to space.
Some big changes are on track to arrive at Union Station. A multi-million-dollar expansion is in the works to add more attractions to complement the St. Louis Wheel and Aquarium. It includes 3 new amusement rides, 6 new carnival game booths, and more food and beverage concessions, giving the old train shed a Coney Island feel.
Union Station kind of reimagined over the years, and we're just going to kind of lean into that and continue that growth, and we're so excited about all the new additions.
The expansion still needs approval from the city. The goal is to have new additions in operation by next summer.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather first forecast, and it looks like we're going to get at least one dry day this week, Scott.
One dry day, but that's it looks like, and that's tomorrow. But we're not there yet. We still have showers in the area. Looking down in Arnold right now, the rain that's been working its way from north and northeast to south and southwest is sliding through the metro area now, and it continues to increase as we head to the south of St. Louis. So you still have some of these showers. Overall, they're weakening a bit, but they still have some pretty good downpours with them as they continue to drift here off to the south and southwest. We're almost done with this rain around the metro area. Again, some spots with 2 to 3 inches, and you still have some heavier rain here. Southern portions and southwestern portions of St. Clair County as you go from Freeburg back over towards Waterloo, moving into Valmeyer. And this is all on the backside of the upper level system, which is finally starting to shift to the east. So as it pulls away, we eventually will see this rain slide farther to the east. And tomorrow, really the only chance for rain will be along the Interstate 57 corridor. Lambert, as best we can estimate, 1.27 inches in the rain gauge for today. There have been spots with much less. There's been several spots with much more, 3 to 5 inches in some cases. 70 was our high. We did that in between the rain. Here's a look at the 24-hour estimates of rainfall. Again, where you see the yellow, that's where we're getting upwards of 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and you saw a fair amount of that around the metro area. The trend, though, overnight is for this to diminish. Any clearing that tries to develop overnight, that's going to end up resulting in a bit of fog developing, and that means we start tomorrow morning with mainly cloudy skies. Then it gets a little brighter later on in the day. If you're working outside tomorrow's your day. Looks like the only one this week where the rain chance is negligible, and that's good for tomorrow's City SC match. LAFC coming to town. They take the pitch at 7:30, and it looks like it's partly cloudy, still in the low 70s. About that Thursday and Friday rain chance. On Thursday, the rain chances ramp up during the morning. It's unlikely this would be severe early on. As this pushes through, it tends to weaken, but it leaves a boundary. So for later Thursday evening into the overnight hours, there's the potential we'll see more thunderstorms develop down to our south and try to drift back to the north. If that were to cause any problems, of course, we'd be tracking it. But it looks like at this point, the greater threat for severe weather is much farther to our south, down over Texas with that particular scenario. So just planning it out for your next 7 days. Tomorrow's your dry day. But here's the good news. After Thursday and Friday rain chances, and it's not a continuous rain, right?
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday are mainly dry. We have mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are warmer too. The cicadas will love it. Not sure if you'll love the cicadas, but that'll really bring the rest of them out this weekend as we go back into the mid, maybe even some upper 80s, and then another chance for more rain going into next week, especially along about Monday night into Tuesday. That looks like we may get into more of those significant storms again.
We don't want that again.
Yeah, we don't want it.
All right, Scott, thanks.
Frank, Sarah Sports.
We will show you Caitlin Clark's first game in the WNBA. We have the Cardinals trying to make it 3 in a row, and we'll hear from one of the best from the NASCAR Cup Series.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
On Saturday night, the Cardinals were in Milwaukee with a 7-game losing streak and 9 games out of first place and with no real hope. Tonight, they may go to bed with a 3-game winning streak and a glimmer of hope on the 2024 season. Sonny Gray had the curveball working early against the Angels, and you thought after the last bad outing, he would be really tough to hit tonight. Second inning, the Cardinals got some help from the Angels. Michael Ciani, the slow roller, the throw is wide. Nolan Gorman scores 2-0 Cardinals. The backup catchers have been hitting. This is Pedro Pages. With the bases loaded, he will drill one to left. All 3 runners will score. For Pages, how about this? His first hit and 3 RBIs, 5-0 Cardinals. But in the fourth, Logan O'Hoppe will drill this Sonny Gray offering into the stands, and suddenly we have a 5-4 game. Right now, it's 5-5 in the 6th inning. Not as successful as Tiger, not as great as Jordan or Gretzky, but you can make a case in terms of her impact on her sport, college basketball, Caitlin Clark being as big as those immortals. Now it's a whole new challenge. The WNBA for Caitlin tonight, the debut. Caitlin off the bus and walking to the locker room. Connecticut, though, did not get the script early. DeJounte Carrington picks her pocket. Caitlin with 10 turnovers tonight. But after a slow start, she shot it really well in the second half. Off the catch, a contested 3. Later, another bomb. Caitlin finished with 20 points, but the Sun win 92-71. Bruins and Panthers tonight. And this is Trent Frederick from A Whole New Roof for A Hole in Your Roof. He gives it to Charlie Coyle, who gives it to Charlie McAvoy. That was the game winner. Boston wins it 2-1. Florida leads the series 3-2. So there's been a lot of paint scrapping and wall rubbing on the NASCAR Cup circuit the past few weeks, along with some really fantastic finishes. This past weekend, there was even a post-race confrontation between Chris Buescher and Tyler Reddick. Just think, we're only about 2.5 weeks away from the show coming to Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's the Enjoy Illinois 300, and one guy who's having an awesome season is William Byron. He has 3 victories and 10 top 10 finishes. And like most drivers, he loves racing in St. Louis. We spoke earlier today.
The racetrack has suited what we try to achieve each week, and hopefully this year can be more of the same. You know, it's a tough racetrack to get a hold of, but I feel like the last year there we led quite a few laps. We're in a good position to compete for the win at the end, so hopefully we can have more of that this time.
And to give you an idea of the worldwide popularity of this race right across the river, they've already sold tickets to people in 12 different countries.
What?
12 different countries, yes, and 45 states. Chris Blair, the GM, likes to sell a ticket to a person in each of the 50 states, and he's just 5 away now.
Now, is that unusual? I mean, is that a St. Louis thing, or does that happen in other NASCAR markets?
It does, but I tell you, I was with Kenny Wallace today, and he believes that we've become one of like the top 2 or 3 racing cities in the country for the NASCAR Cup Series. That's how amazing. And we've only had it for 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's eye-opening.
Fast growing. All right. Thanks, Frank.
An unlikely venue for a local cooking class. The recipes on the lesson plan for the secret ingredient may bug you. Well, I know we don't need to tell all of you, but newsflash, the cicadas are here. And while they may be creepy, they're also nutritious.
That's why the Butterfly House in Chesterfield, Scott, is hosting a cicada cooking demonstration. The bug chef will share recipes like cicada scampi and spicy deep-fried cicadas. Now, there won't be any cicada tastings, but there will be samples of other insect-based snacks. 2 classes are being offered on May 24th at 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. and seating is first come, first serve.
And the thought of eating a cicada or any bug may leave you bug-eyed. 80% of the world incorporates insects into their diet. Seriously, would you
for
eat
them.
a cicada?
No, not knowingly.
Today in St. Louis, I had like a chocolate-covered cricket or something.
Haven't you had like a little pesto on a mosquito? I mean, it just really tastes.
No.
Yeah. Well, you probably had a mosquito on some pesto. There's no doubt about that around here. And you may have a cicada on your pesto. You got to watch the dip this weekend. We do have the rain showers out there right now. They are winding down. We have a dry day on the way tomorrow.
Gives me a nervous tick. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.